So I identified with my success, and I liked the way that people viewed me, because they would kind of put me on a pedestal sometimes, like, hey, you've done really well, you're successful, you have all this stuff. But I went through some rough times in my life that cost me a marriage, it cost me my relationships with my kids. I focused on all the material things in life. It was all about, my mentality was, the more I can give to my kids and my family, the more that they're gonna be happy, and the more I'll be happy, and the more they're gonna love me as a dad. But worldly things don't fill your heart the way that spiritual things do.
I felt so alone for the longest time. It took me a while to realize I was depressed. I didn't know who I was. I was just so lost. I felt like that was gonna be my life. Like, all right, this is what life is about. I had tried seeing therapists and taking, medication for my depression, which, that stuff is all good, but I still was not, I felt empty, basically. I still felt like something was missing.
My father left me when I was about 4 and had a stepfather come in the picture for a number of years. I started getting into drugs and alcohol, when I was 12. Started hanging around kids I shouldn't be hanging around. Just not living in God's will at all. Trying to go to church here and there, but it slowly started to kind of be like a thing where I didn't really want to go to church anymore, because when you're living in that kind of dark realm of life, you're kind of trying to have the best of both worlds, but it doesn't really work like that, because it's either you're 1 foot in over here, 1 foot out, you know what I mean? I was in and out of multiple different sober livings, different detoxes throughout the valley, in and out of homelessness, and, still trying to think that I can do this and have another way of trying to manipulate and trying to take control of my own life, right?
I finally got to a point where it sucked. It was horrible. I didn't like who I was, and I felt like a failure. And I had a lot of guilt because of that. I just kind of figured, if this is it, it's not that great. So we decided we were gonna look at 3 or 4 different churches. Well, we went to CCV and we just never went anywhere else. We, after attending for a few years, we decided, my wife and I, that we'd get baptized. And so that really was what we did. And so it was a month or 2 before Easter, and we decided, let's get baptized on Easter. And I look back on it now, and it was the biggest and the best blessing I could have ever had in my life. It allowed me to really reboot, to start over, to do things His way and not my way. And it gave me that peace in my life. And so that's really what I was lacking.
So last Easter, when I walked and went into church that day, I went, sat down for the service, watched the service, and I remember seeing some individuals, sharing their story and a little bit of their testimony that I can definitely relate with. And I just remember breaking down into tears during that service, just like bawling and just feeling the Holy Spirit infiltrate my heart and trying to be like, okay, this is time. This needs to happen today. And when I got baptized on this last Easter, right after that baptism, there was definitely, some challenges within my life. I thought everything would be all good when I got baptized, right? But it's just not the case. Sometimes there's things that happen, and that's okay, right? As long as I know that Christ is with me, I can do all things through Christ that strengthen me. So I truly believe that I will be okay if I keep God at the center of my life today.
And then finally, I was just like, I need to surrender it all. I've tried everything, basically. I need to just give it all to Him. Like, what am I gonna lose? And that's when I realized, hey, in order for me to fully surrender, I need to get baptized. I wanna say it was probably, I think, like a week before Easter, I decided, okay, I wanna do it on this day, because, it represents when He was resurrected. And then my mom had been wanting to get baptized for a while. And then that day, she didn't know, but she decided she was gonna get baptized that day. And me and my mom have been through a lot together too. She's been through a lot, we've been through a lot together. And so to see her get baptized, it was awesome. And that we were able to do together. He just showed me so many great things, and he just showed me how to walk with him in life, which just brought so much joy and confidence. And I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared to walk this life. So he's transformed me. He really has created a new person for me.